right, guys, welcome back to the Self-Made Training Facility Comeback Series with co-host Chandler.
How's it going?
So we got for you guys a 10-part series coming out, and it's all going to be on business development. So we're going to go through the mistakes that we've made in the past and hopefully change the learning curve so that you guys don't have to make the same mistakes that we did. We decided for our first topic today is more speaking to like the mid-range trainer, a trainer that's been here for a while or been training at a different facility or corporate facility for a while, and meeting them. But how a new trainer can also learn from those mid-level trainers and start already creating the systems and processes needed to end up scaling and saving themselves more time. Because what happens with a lot of trainers, and it happened to me, it still happens to me from time to time when I allow it, and I know it's happened to you, and you've made a big change recently on working in too much and just taking on another client and taking on another client and taking on another client until you got like 30 people in a day, and you're like, oh shit, there's only 24 hours. Like, what am I going to do, right? Where do I fit them all? So instead of trading the time for money, looking at some of the systems and things that we've done to make our time more well spent, so that we can have time to work on the business. So what systems that we have. So we're going to talk about like structuring business first. When we look at like the hourly thinking and thinking like an hourly employee, like I charge $60 per session, or I charge, $100 for a couple. When we're thinking of that trading that time for money, there's going to be a limit to how much time you have, so there'll be a limit on how much money you can make, right? Of course. Especially when our demographics don't change. So what was, about how many hours a day do you find that you hit that? It's almost like a burnout, right? What time or when in your career so far have you found that like, I can't do this forever? Like as far as how much time you're putting in.
It's when I was hitting 16 hours a day. And I did not group my people at all together at that time. They were all one-on-ones. And I wish I had started grouping sooner. And trusting that, not all my clients are going to be like, well, I'm paying you X amount, so I demand or I expect this. Granted, at the grand scheme of things, it could be a simple conversation with your client and be like, hey, as I'm getting busier, I'm going to need to start grouping people together. How would you feel about that? How would you feel about that? And I can even reduce your hourly rate and be easier for you, save me on time so I can be more quality focused in our sessions versus hitting a mental wall in our session. Like, wait, okay. Like,
that 16th person did not get the same Chandler that the first person got, correct?
So how I have it set up currently is I do groups now, and I do a few one-on-ones. But then I also do like a morning shift, and then I'll do like my midday break. And then that's when I'll go work on myself. I'll do my admin work. I'll do stuff for the Big Brother program, freshen up, go back home, spend time with the puppies real quick, and freshen up, shower up, and get ready for my second shift in the afternoon. And
when I feel the same way, like when you're an entrepreneur and you have your own business, a lot of times it's like the pride of hard work and working more and more and more and more. And you feel good about it because you're providing a service, right? We're a service industry. But there's also like, when you think about going from like a W-2 job where you have to take like a 15-minute break every certain amount of hours, you get a 30-minute lunch. You don't do that here. And you realize that 15-minute break actually made a difference in your day, like taking that time. And when you're an entrepreneur or when you're a trainer, even just walking into the bathroom when you don't have to go to the bathroom, you just go in there for like 30 seconds to be like, okay, I can do this. You walk back out, you're like, that's all you needed that minute, right? But when it's back to back to back to back to back, and like I get that way sometimes too. And even like when we start like, hey, start the podcast at 1, I'm here at like 1:10. Like in 10 minutes, like eat something, drink half a coffee, and like, okay, I feel way better now.
Put time back into yourself momentarily. Regroup.
And so taking like that extra little time and gap is a good key for any like new trainer to be like, hey, you do need to make time for yourself to be better for the people that you're training. 16 hours is a freaking lot though, bro. I'm surprised it didn't happen before 12.
Yeah, man. You know what? Like we said in earlier podcasts, like, when you start taking on clients, you become a yes man. Yes, I can take on more. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Right? Like I had a fear of saying no. And then it's like, okay, well, Chan doesn't want it. So, okay, we're going to send it to the next person. We're going to send it to the next person. Right. Mm-hmm. And then before I knew it, I was running into like an energy problem, like we just said. Mm-hmm. And I was getting home at freaking 8:00 at night. And by the time I got home,
like at 5, you know.
Yeah, in at 5 a.m., back home at 8 p.m. Mm-hmm. That's
sounds like my day today. For different reasons. So.
Right. But you know, it's kind of hard because it's like we're building our own company, our own businesses with our own two hands. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's like we're in the prime time now to do so. Right. But then at the same token, you want to be selfish at the home front and take away from like your partner. Right.
Right. So how does building something, a recurring revenue stream, and how did you go from like trading the time? Did you ever structure your sales process or the way you accept funds, like how you receive money, your accounts receivable? Mm-hmm. I know some trainers, when they do switch to small groups, mm-hmm. instead of doing like selling, hey, it's going to be, you know, $50 per session, they'll do like, hey, I have an 8 a.m. small group, it's $400 a month, but you can come to any 8 a.m. session. Or did you ever do anything like that?
Yeah, so I definitely broke it down like that. So for my one-on-ones, obviously it's a lot more premium price. And then for my average client, I would say they do enjoy the semis, whereas my, say for example, $45 per person per session.
Right, but it's grouped with like 3-4 people.
Yeah, group of 3 to 4 people. So that way it's more time saving, right?
Right.
And then it's
cost effective for
and
them.
it's more per hour, and it saves them on money too.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a triple win in my book.
Yeah, that was one that I struggled with when switching certain clients had been paying a certain way. Yeah. Because your clients get used to paying you, I buy 10 sessions for $700 or whatever it is, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then being like, hey, look, we're going to switch to a small group model now. Yeah. So it's actually going to save you money. It's going to be $600 a month. Yeah. And you're able to come Monday through Thursday instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But in that way, you're changing the way you model your sales process. Now you're guaranteed that 600 regardless of how many times they come or not. And you could sell that program to like 5 people, 6 people during our off-peak hours.
Exactly.
So you could have that 1 hour a day making you $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Off 5 people times 600, and they may not even show up.
You know I'll never do again is year-long contracts.
Oh yeah.
Year-long contracts I will never do again.
Always a fight.
Yeah. Well, I have a great system of keeping track and stuff like that, but sometimes the client can be like, oh, well, hang on. I thought we had a session this week or that week that we had to make up. I'm like, well, hate to be a Nancy Susan, but I'm like, per the tracking, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what's another thing. So firstly, make time for yourself. Don't get bogged down in the rat race of chasing client per hour. Yep. Your first system should be a scheduling, billing, and invoicing system. Right. So I use PT Minder, use Go High Level. Right. So there's a bunch of different systems out there.
There's
you can even use
Square.
Squarespace or Square is as a free one. So there's a lot of different ones you can do.
Vigaro is another good one too.
Right. There's so many. Your hairdresser, your barber has a booking software. If you're a personal trainer running your own business, get a freaking booking software. Stop using your pen and paper to have your clients sign in.
Just something that's going to help your business streamline that much easier. Right. And also, let me tell you this, is nothing worse than having to track down a client for an invoice.
Stewie, hey.
Hey there. So, it's been 24 hours. Got my money?
Oh, you know what? Just give me till next Friday. I'll have it for you.
Oh, that's funny. I could have sworn I said have it today.
Yeah, I don't have it. Sorry.
Oh, well, all right then. That's good, OJ.
Right, you send out the invoice to them.
Yeah, well,
and then you have a track of when you sent it to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I'll have it set up to where it sends out to the second to last session of their invoice package. They don't have to pay it right then and there, but like when their last session is up, it's already theirs and it's already captured.
Right. I do it the same way. So I'll say they're on like session 9 out of 10. Yeah. They get an email, and then on session 10, they get a second email, and I get an email. So send it to both of us.
Right.
And so another thing with those booking softwares, session reminders. Have it sent out before they go to bed on average. I have a session reminder sent out at 8 p.m. Unless you have old ass clients that go to bed at 7.
But
almost everybody checks their email or does some form of preparing for the next day before they go to bed. So having something sent around dinner time as an automated system is great to have them, and you reduce the amount of cancellations because they know they're like, oh shit, I still have that session in there. Also keeps both sides accountable. It's nice for them if they have canceled and then you forgot to delete it. It gives an opportunity for them to be like, check you, because there are times when we do make mistakes.
Of course,
So it's good to have a system on both sides where we can both stay
keeping an open line of communication on both sides is crucial. Because there are things that are out of everyone's control, mine and my client's control. Say, for example, like their kids are having an emergency and like, hey, Chan, like this is an actual like family emergency. Can I reschedule? Then it's up to my discretion. Like, hey, yes, we can reschedule. I'll do it free of charge and I won't charge you.
One way that I like that, I call it the whoopsie. So when someone has a consultation with me, the first we talk about, okay, I have a 24-hour cancellation policy. We recommend that at Self-Made that you have a 24-hour cancellation policy. However, in our policy, it states that it is finally up to the trainer if it's within that 24 hours. So what I tell my clients is if it's within the 24 hours, if I can find someone to cover your spot, you're good to go. For sure, good to go. I said, or if we can reschedule at a time that's convenient to me, not to you, convenient to me, the next day or the day after, sometime during that week, cool. If I have a gap or if I have someone that's willing to split the session or whatever, that's fine. But if you text me at 3 a.m. and your session is at 7 a.m., it's pretty stinking hard to get someone to come in.
Almost next to impossible.
You're getting charged. What's funny is that clients that have their own businesses and clients that are more wealthy and smarter usually will text me and be like, hey man, can't make it. I know I'm getting charged. I'll see you Wednesday or something like that. And they say it. It's the clients that, maybe don't have as much of an income and have a W-2 or don't understand like being a business owner. They're like, hey, my kid got sick. Your kid was sick yesterday, don't lie.
It's the importance of like, hey, that could have been a new potential business for me to accrue.
You now sitting here like this.
Not to say that, like get out of the way, like let the next person in, but for that hour that's been canceled, I had John Doe over here hit me up through Instagram or hit me up through a referral, and he wanted that 7 o'clock time slot, but I had a recurring 7 o'clock, which was you, and you ended up canceling last minute. Now I lost on John Doe and that session.
You lost 2 times, and someone else's inconvenience as well. So if he had moved his schedule around to come at 8 and had to change when he had his kid taken to school because you were at 7 and now you're canceling, he wouldn't have had to change his schedule. So it's a ripple effect and it's respecting. So same token though, I've had called out 2 days in the last 6 years.
Goddamn.
2 days in the last 6 years. And I thought I was dying the last day.
Can we check that, guys?
Any
of his clients, can you guys check him on that one?
I did miss a third 5 a.m. when I woke up too late. Sorry.
He was here in spirit.
Modern lending mortgage guys, sorry. That was like
he was here in spirit, guys. That's what matters.
That's right. But what I do is I text all those clients, and it was literally medical emergency. Like my tongue like swelled up, and I had an allergic reaction. I thought I was going to suffocate.
Is this how I go? This is finally it.
Finally, good luck.
Of all the years.
But I will give them that session back if I have to move for a non-medical thing. Right.
Somehow, some way, you always make it up to your client.
Of course. But it's funny how the clients sometimes think when I'm like, there's 20 of you in a day. I can't make concessions for everybody. That's exactly, a lot. Yeah. So
like what to you would feel like, okay, like say for example, like you had that week you had all your clients like be on vacation.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? That was pretty intense. So what would you say is like your threshold for like, okay, like no more being like accommodating, I guess you could say.
So when stuff is planned and I know about it, I move people around all the time. My clients like to play Tetris with my schedule. Usually ends up like Jenga all over the floor.
There you go.
And so, but that's the community that I have. And it's usually because they do have work trips. They do have like own and operate small businesses. And they are required more than maybe someone else's community is. What I find is most difficult is when I have a client that their priorities are a little different than everyone else's, than all my other clients. And there's a struggle sometimes where clients that are usually say like a Tuesday or like a Monday, Wednesday, 9:00 or something like that. And all of a sudden they want to come in at 1 the next week. And then they want to come in at 8. And then they want to come in at, and I have to start moving other clients around because they're always changing their schedule.
Right.
And sometimes when it has to do with your kids, I get it. All my clients have kids. Right. I understand. Mm-hmm. But your kids are no more important than this other client's kids. Right. Mm. And a lot of people make concessions to come train here. Yeah. And it's not cheap to train with me. It's not cheap to train with you. Nope. And people make changes and adjust their schedule to be here. Right. And so be respectful. And especially when it comes to canceling, because you have no idea if I've moved someone to give you that spot. And when I ask you to move, there's a reason, because someone probably needed it that did the same for you in the past.
But see, being a professional, we'll never say that to our clients.
Right.
Right. Because we don't.
Unless they speak back. You know?
Get them a check. No, but we'll never like put that against them. Like, verbally. Like directly, he's like, hey, like, you know what?
Yeah, I gotta say it with, be composed when you say it. But and if it becomes a problem, I will say something. I'll be like, understand that when you signed up at this time slot. Mm-hmm. So changing to a different time slot that's maybe 3 or 4 hours away will be more difficult. So until I can get that smoothly operating with my other clients, you may only be able to get 2 sessions this week instead of 3. Right. And it may take 2-3 weeks. But also when you have clients that have kids or in their own businesses or a sick mom or something like that, their schedules will change during summer, during holiday season, during whatever. So being fluid is also great. But that's where having a system and a booking software comes in, dragging, dropping the ability to see your whole schedule in one place versus like looking and having all these pen marks and erasers and stuff like that.
Well, not only that, but also some scheduling systems, like they'll link up to your Apple calendar. Yeah, they'll put it right there on there for you. So that way you don't even have to like go and put it in yourself. Right. Yeah, so I've seen that with some of my clients too.
Yeah. So I'll never give my clients that much autonomy over the schedule though. I'm too much of a control over that.
So when I schedule my clients, like I block off the recurring times.
Yeah. So I know that first.
I block it off, and then like any times after, say for example, like 10 a.m. to like 1 p.m. is a free hour. So whoever wants it scheduled during that time,
they got it.
You got it. Yeah. Like whoever comes and gets it.
I do that at the start of the month. It's usually the first weekend of the month. I'll block out the recurring people for the next month or two, depending on when I know their schedules are. Yeah. We have a similar way, and we both do well. So you should probably follow those ways. And last one I want to talk about was the way you price. So, is there a way that you, like some form of something you tell yourself before a sale, or a way that you've like negotiated pricing? I had a conversation with one of the trainers the other day, and he told me, he goes, if you have any people that sign up as members here and they want a welcome workout and they're beginners, go ahead and send them to me. I said, why do they have to be beginners? Yeah. He goes, I'm not like you. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not like me? And it was a confidence thing. Right. I told him, I said, bro, if you care about somebody and you care about their progress and you can help them. And I said, the very fact that you don't have the confidence is what you need to work on first. Right. Once you get that confidence to know that what you're providing is a service, if you care about them, you'll go and learn it. Yep. You'll go figure it out, and probably more so than someone like me who already thinks he knows it.
Yeah, right. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to a client and they had an issue, and I'm like, hey, I don't know the answer right now, but give me a week by this weekend and I'll figure it out and I'll have it for you. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, right. But to refer back to the pricing comment, right? Knowing your pricing before you sit down for that consultation and having it set in place is non-negotiable, right? For being
be firm on it.
Be firm on it, but be prepared to have different levels to your pricing. So obviously my one-on-ones are set premium. My grouping sessions are, which is for more like the affordability program, I call it, right? So for like the people who are trying to get into training, but my premium's a little too much out of their budget. I'm like, hey, so-and-so, like, you know what? You'd be a great candidate for my semi-private. All I ask is that you, in order to be granted access, I'll ask for 2 referrals. Sign up referrals. Sign up referrals, right? Yeah. And then that way you can also get them in on that same pricing for you, and you all can do it together, because then it's accountability and it's longevity, right? Right. So that's like a
great system.
That's the way I kind of hack it.
Yeah.
Right.
What I do is, and here's one easy question: Do you ever tell people prices on message or online or anything?
No, unless I'm like, I know the conversation isn't going anywhere.
Right.
And they're wasting my time on text or wherever they're reaching out to me on.
Right.
I'm like, all right, dude, here's my price. I'm like,
you're saying the conversation.
I'm like, let me know. And then before I know it, it's like, okay.
So I tell them a starting price.
Yeah.
And I said, my prices start at X per month. Mm-hmm. And they go up depending on what you require, because that's the minimum amount that I'll accept for anything, right? I won't get out of bed for less than that dollar amount, right? And so I tell people all programs start at $300 a month, and they go up from there based on your requirements, but we'll find that out during your consultation. Right. And then I flip it into, are you available Monday at 8:00 or whatever it is, you know? Right. And so I'm willing to give, or I've given price ranges before. I say, you know, my prices start at $300 a month and go to about $1,200. Right. We can make a package for more if you'd like, but those are the typical ranges.
Depends on what you need.
And then give them this big range, and they're like, oh shit, well that's probably like 7 days a week or something. They have no idea what it is.
Right.
But it is true. The prices start here and they go to as much as you want to pay me. Right.
Well, you also, I offer discounts from my first responders and veterans and so on and so forth. So that's my way of like saying thank you to you guys, of course.
Yeah.
So
I'm not going to give my comment on that one.
But
Mark, you have to pay more.
Nonetheless,
I saw your retirement check, bro.
Nonetheless, though, but you know, it's like if my clients feel that I'm taking care of them on the finance part, you know, that's gonna it creates like a sense of like, okay, like he's helping me out on this, like, you know what, like it creates even more longevity in that scheme of things, you know?
Yeah. So once you have your schedule set up with your time for yourself, then you have a system for your invoices, your billing, and your scheduling. All that is going to save you more time. And it may have a slight upfront cost, but there are systems that are free. So if you have any questions about what systems we use, we named a few today in the podcast, but you can leave a comment below. We can let you know what we use and what other trainers here at Selfmade use. Any other questions you have on building your business, let us know. Sweet. We have next week scheduled for, it's called Niche Down or Stay Broke. So helping you find your target market that you would like to serve and how to analyze your business to find out what target market you're best serving, because the people you want to serve may not be the ones that like want to be served by you. So it has to work on both sides of the street. Anything for them, Chandler?
Just stay tuned for the next episode, man. More stuff to come, even more information on our Big Brother program we'll be launching for our new incoming trainers and even existing trainers. So, and also beware for our boot camp announcement.
That's coming soon. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
All right, thanks.
Bang.